everyone. Welcome back to the 121% Podcast, Season 2, Episode 1. Thank you so much for joining us for our second season inaugural podcast. All of our regular panels will be back. We'll have Daniel and Todd, as well as Gavin. But today we have a newest team member here with our company, and we wanted to have her join us, Debrah Hailey. She's our new Vice President of Strategic Growth for Century 21 OneBlue Real Estate School, and will primarily be overseeing all of our growth, but focused on the Tampa market, where she has lived and worked for the last nearly 23 years.
23 years in Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So welcome to the family. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit, or tell our audience, I know about it, but a little bit about your background. Where are you native Floridian? Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I started real estate in Dallas, Texas in 1982. So, and I started in the commercial property management business in apartment complexes and commercial buildings. And I was able to cut my teeth through real estate on that, was promoted to regional supervisor in the 80s and in commercial, and really jumped more off into commercial, which for a lot of y'all out there, I was one of the few women in commercial back then in Dallas.
Wow.
So think about where I was.
True.
Dallas. But I was very fortunate to be with some really great companies.
Yeah.
And through the years, I was doing a lot of new construction, remodeling, rehab, because that's what you did when we went through the downturns with foreclosures and stuff in the commercial buildings. I jumped off into residential in 2002 after we moved here from Texas. I'd been here for 4 years doing commercial property management here with medical office management and stuff. But I wanted to get in residential, and I jumped on with Century 21 Bagans in 2002 into residential because I really wanted to learn this part of it. And I was lucky to get with the brand. The brand's amazing. And I was really
you've been with Century 21 19 years now, right?
19 years, yeah. Wonderful brand. Was able to be taught by Jim Bagans, who is the grandfather of Century 21 in Florida.
Yeah.
If y'all know about Jim, he's amazing. He's a great guy.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, back in the 70s, 50 years ago, when Century 21 was founded, it was a master franchise system. So someone would buy a territory, and then from, kind of almost like Ray Kroc did with McDonald's, and then for in this case, the Bagans family bought Florida and basically I-4 South, and they were responsible for selling franchises, and that was their territory.
Yeah.
So truly, Century 21 and its roots here in the Sunshine State can be traced back to the Bagans family, which is a great organization. They're here in Florida. They still operate today.
Yep.
They are one of the top brokerages in the state of Florida and in the system. And, I know personally, I admire them. I look up to them a lot. Mm-hmm. They're just a great organization. And I joke with leadership as, my goal is to beat them in market share one day,
will.
Which,
yes,
that's how big they are. But it's just, we're very blessed to have had them. And so you were with Bagans for 19 years. And you started out as a residential agent, worked your way into office management.
Yeah. I started managing in 2006.
Okay.
So I've been managing for 15 years.
Wow.
And we took that office from actually about 20 agents that were working. Think about that were working. We had more, but these were working agents. And built it up to a Centurion office by 2010 and made a president's office, which is not just Centurion office, but you have to have Pinnacle Quality Service, which is a top level of quality service. You have to have that for at least 2 years, and then you become president office.
And what I will say is, as an office who is a Quality Service Pinnacle award-winning office here, it is a very tough award. Yeah. We have a 99% customer satisfaction rating, but it's done by an independent company, so it's not within our control. We can't manipulate the system. You have to have a certain percentage of your closings having been sent a survey,
Absolutely.
A certain percentage of those having responded to the survey, and then achieving a 90% or higher score in 3 main categories to get a blended score. And
Absolutely.
So it is tough to do. It's tough to get it as an office just 1 year in a row, but to get it back to back years. And we're blessed we have several Quality Service Award winners in this office, and it's their commitment to delivering extraordinary experiences that delivers that.
Yep.
So kudos to you and to the agents that you helped to grow their business and defy mediocrity, that you were able to do it for so many years back to back to get to that President's Award, and then to take it to
Took it to the final,
ambassador.
actually the top level of
The award levels.
yeah,
Ambassador.
the ambassador. Sorry, wait, mine just went blank.
That's okay.
Ambassador level.
Yeah.
And which is even, you have to have 5 years as a president's office and in a row to get ambassadors. So we were able to achieve that. And it's the agents, it's you guys out there doing your best work and always taking care of those clients. That's really what brings everything together when you have awards for the office. It's always about the agents.
Yeah, without the agents doing what they do, no office would award.
No.
So, and so kudos to you. And we're just very, very blessed. When I got the call that you were considering a change and might be available, I was like, I was dumbfounded. The person that informed me, I said, well, let me ask you a question. If you were opening an office and needed someone, would you, chat with her and hire her? And she goes, Kevin, I would have shut up by now, hung up the phone, and already be on the phone with her. Yeah. And that's what I did. I have trusted advisors in my business and in my life that I value their input immensely. And this is one person. I know she connected you with multiple offices, including a broker for one of the largest Century 21s in the world, and we beat them. I love that broker. He's a great guy. I mean, I've actually learned a lot from him as well. He's from the Northeast area of the United States, up in New England. Guy. And
but speed leads everything, Kevin.
Yeah, it
is, because you called me right away. You called me. You talked to me all weekend. You followed up with me. You set an appointment with me all on the first day that I even talked to you. Mm-hmm. And if I figured out that if you're that responsive, then your agents are being taught to be that responsive to their customers. And I have a lot of respect for that, because this guy I'll call you next week. We'll set up a Zoom meeting. I'll let you know on Monday. And you know what? He missed it. Yeah. And because
he's busy. It's not to dig him at all. No. He's got a lot on his plate, and that's cool. I just happened to be, and normally I'm some days kind of crazy busy, but that was a day where I had that opportunity, I had that window, and I took it. Yeah.
I'm glad you did, because it's a wonderful opportunity for me, because we're really going to grow Tampa and really do some amazing stuff there. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, and once I met you and you like Disney boats in Florida and Century 21, I'm like, we got it. So yeah. Well, welcome to the team and welcome to the family. And so for our first podcast with you, I thought we could cover I know you're passionate about listings, you're passionate about helping agents serve sellers. And you had a great course called 7 Ways to Get Listings. And so we thought we'd do a quick podcast to help everyone out there learn how maybe you can pick up one nugget. And that's about, that's why we do this podcast. If we can help you, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, or if you're watching us on YouTube, if you just pick up one nugget, one piece of information that helps you be a better agent, that helps you be 1% better than you are today, I'm happy, right?
Yeah, me too.
So we've got 7 things in here that we're going to talk about, and hopefully at least one of them, maybe 7. These are proven ways to get listings.
That's right.
Nothing about real estate is hard. It's actually, real estate is very simple. It's just not easy. Yeah. Because you have to actually, do the work. So
there's that.
So the first one, Debrah, that is on the list is your SOI, or your sphere of influence. We get a lot of agents that come to us, especially Orlando, maybe somewhat Tampa, but Orlando is a very transient city. Yep. We get, right now with the great migration happening, Florida is one of the recipients of that. So we have a lot of people here that go like, but I don't know anyone.
They're out of state.
Yeah. So how talk to me about sphere of influence.
Okay. Your sphere of influence starts here.
What's that?
It's a phone. It's
for our podcast viewers. Yeah.
It's your phone. Oops.
Hey, can I take a photo?
But but in your phone and on your laptop and on your tablet, what have you got? You've got all your phone numbers from people you've been talking to. There's probably, 100, 200, 500. On your laptop, in your email database, how many people do you have in there? I know you know more than 10. Mm-hmm. But Debrah, I only know 10 people. No, really. Let's open up your phone, because you will have probably 200 or 300 in your phone, on your emails, at least that. And, then we go into social media, and then we get into thousands of people. Why not work where it's simple? You already know a lot of these people, except maybe social media. You know a lot of them on social media. But why would you want to do hard work and do cold calls when you can reach out to people you know and say, hey, it's Debrah. I just got my real estate license. I am so excited. I'm with Century 21 OneBlue. Who do you know would like to do some real estate? Who do you know wants to buy or sell houses? That is a simple phone call, because you're calling a buddy, you're calling a friend, you're calling family members, and you know what? They're not going to ignore you.
If they do, then they really know you.
Yeah, if they do, then maybe you have other issues. But they
don't call your sphere if they owe you money, because they probably won't answer.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, no, don't do that. But your sphere it's the beginning of most agents' real estate. It is. This is their first source of business, so why not go to it? It's easy. I like telling easy. So everybody in your neighborhood, your neighbors where you live. It's a good time to go out and meet them.
If not, it is a great time, right?
A great time. How many people in your workplace do you know? We've all worked other places before we got in real estate. So you have employees that you've worked with. You've had employers. You've had friends from those. Why wouldn't you reach out into those people?
I have several sales that when I was an agent came from my past days.
Yeah. I mean, most of I have a great story. We hired a lady, this is quite a few years ago. She was a hairdresser, worked in a salon. She had gone to Russia with her husband to adopt one baby. They came back with 5 because the baby had siblings. Bought the whole family back. Couldn't afford to quit her job, because, she had a lot of mouths to feed. So Mary and I sat down and we did her business plan. I said, well, you got people in your chair for 30 minutes at a time.
Have a chit-chat.
You have an audience right there.
Bartenders and hair salon.
Yes.
Gavin on our team,
yeah,
he got his, start in real estate he worked at a neighborhood bar. And we talked about it in a previous episode. He worked that bar, and he actually... Yes. Even when his business started taking off, he stayed working Friday nights because it's a local hangout on Friday nights, and he was getting a lot of leads from them. They start drinking.
Absolutely.
We have another agent I know who goes and sits. It's a small town in Florida. Sits at the bar every Friday night. Doesn't drink. He's never drank alcohol in his life. Sips on a Diet Coke because he knows all the locals are there. Yeah. Drinking, and when they're drinking, the lips get loose and they start telling you stuff. And
I mean, this is the type of stuff that's more fun. It does bring you a ton of business, and a lot of agents are afraid to talk to the people they know. I don't get it.
I don't know either.
I don't get it. But that's where you should start.
Yeah.
And then we hear the people, you were saying everywhere's transient here. That's true. But those people up north, they still should be set up on drip campaigns. They still should be set up on emails. Well, you should be calling them because they know people up there that are moving here.
That's exactly what I told an agent the other day, was that you have people, people that are where you were and are coming here too.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're in Florida. I mean, obviously our podcast reaches global. Yeah. So wherever you are, market that sphere, contact everyone you know, and make sure that they know that anyone they meet that's going to buy, sell, or rent at some point in the future, you can help them, even if that person is buying or selling or renting in a market you don't live in.
That's right.
Because you can, if you're part of a major brand like a Century 21 or a Coldwell Banker or Better Homes and Gardens, you can find an award-winning agent in those markets.
Absolutely.
Because you work with a big global brand.
And get a referral.
And get a referral fee from it.
Absolutely.
So, and provide a service to that person in your sphere, because you are connecting them with a trusted, award-winning. Like for us, we only connect with quality service producers.
Yes.
Because I don't care if you sold 50 deals this year or 150 deals or 5 deals. Do you take care of your customer? That's all that matters.
It is. It's all that matters, because you sure don't want your customer calling you back going, they suck. They're terrible.
And then they go leave a review because you referred them to someone that screwed them. So
and they didn't like you.
Yep. So number 2 on our list is canceled, not relisted. Talk to me about that.
I love this arena because ever since COVID hit 18 months ago, what happened in 2020 in March, April, May, June, July?
People out of the soft market.
Oh, well, they were listed, they got scared, and they canceled. And what happened to them? Their agents forgot about them, left them, have not called them back. They had to sell for a reason. And you can go into IMAP Tax and find these people, canceled, not relisted.
Yeah, so
And
find your and wherever you are, your local tax. Like
Yes.
here in our area, our MLS provides us with things like Realist or IMAP.
Yes.
But whatever tool you have to be able to go find this information, grab it and get it.
Absolutely. And, just make sure they're not relisted. And most of the MLSs have that set up for you.
Yep.
So you can go in and absolutely find out, because they had to sell at one point. COVID scared them. 95% of the time, COVID scared them, changed their mind. I'm not moving. I don't want people in my house. And their agent never followed back up and probably jumped out of the business at that point.
Yeah.
So now
we have an 80% fail rate in this business.
Yes.
How far back should they go and look for these canceled?
You should go back to June of 2020.
Right.
I know it's like, it sounds like a long way, but people up until more recently have still been afraid to get out of the house. And I know you see on the news, well, people are out and stuff. There's still a lot of people still afraid to have people in the house and going out. And now they're getting a little more comfortable with getting back to normal again.
What about so obviously this podcast will live on forever. So like a year from now, 2 years from now, someone's listening to this podcast and, COVID's in the history books. So let's cross our fingers.
Yes.
In a normal market, no pandemic, how far back should they normally just kind of look back?
About 5 months.
About 5 months?
Yeah, 4 or 5 months, And you can do, which our next one is expired, not relisted. You look them up the same way.
Yeah.
But they cancel for a reason. Now, normally, in a normal market before COVID, why did they cancel? Well, the agent canceled the listing because they didn't want to show it expired, so the agents wouldn't go after it. That's a little trick, sneaky trick there. So they canceled it, saying, oh, well, he didn't want to sell anyway, changed his mind. In reality, they just canceled it to try not to let the other agents call that client, that customer.
And, right before COVID hit, we were kind of in shock. We're really working with agents to call expires and stuff. And one of the big objections I would hear from more experienced agents is historically those expired listings, like you said, are getting bombarded.
Yeah. They're not.
We were finding they weren't.
They're
the
not.
perception was, and so people and at one point that was the case, but because everybody was talking about it, people like, it's not worth it.
The perception was everybody else is doing it. Nobody was doing it.
And then nobody was doing it,
Yeah.
and we were rocking. We
true.
had one of our agents, every listing was an expired.
Yeah.
And again, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't necessarily just that it was oversold. We've had, in a normalized balanced market, we had one house where literally there was one photo that the agent took it from their car on their phone.
Yeah.
And it was a $630,000 listing. Our agent got it and got it sold. We actually got it sold for more with professional photography and everything. So you never, don't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely not.
When you do get to talk to these people, same thing, when a couple we'll talk about in a second is try to understand why they canceled. What happened in their life. You have to overcome that first.
Yeah.
So be personable. Be service minded, not sales minded at first.
Yeah.
Become their friend, and then you can win. That works with expires. That works with FISPOs.
Everybody.
Who are going to probably getting calls, right?
Yeah.
And everybody wants the same thing, and it's to be the agent that doesn't hard sell, that actually just goes in there and tries to be servant minded versus sales minded.
Absolutely. You have to have that servant's heart. Our customers do see through us. They
Really?
do. I know, shocking.
Oh my God.
I know. They see right through us. They can tell if we're BSing them and we're trying to be a salesman and pushy. We can't be that. We're dealing with their huge emotional investment and financial investment. And when you're on that level with anybody, they want genuineness. They want you to be genuine.
Yeah, be authentic.
Yeah,
I always
be
just be authentically and genuinely yourself.
Yep.
Don't be anything you're not. And there's a lot of back and forth in our industry too. Side note about dress code. Be you first and foremost. If you don't like wearing suits, you don't wear suits. Don't wear suits. I wear company polos and nice jeans and casual dress shoes. I wore suits for 17 years. I'm not going to do it. I would also know that if I'm meeting with a customer, I'm going to step it up a little bit. I won't wear a tie. I refuse to do that. But I'll put a jacket and a button down on in 2 seconds, right? So just be you. Don't try to be anything you're not when you're dealing with the customers.
Yep.
So number 4, kind of similar but different, expired, not relisted.
Yeah, and in MLS, most of the MLSs have a way to search this so you don't have to go one by one and make sure they haven't been relisted.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that and just pick those because the expireds in the past have always been great business. And as you were saying, everybody thinks the perception is, well, everybody's after them. Nobody's after them.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because the phone numbers aren't readily accessible. You know, and people are
actually have to
lazy. You have to work. You have to do work. Oh my gosh! And what's
Wait,
the best way?
no, Deborah, I'm supposed to make $1 million and not do anything.
I know. I'm sorry.
I saw it on the internet, so it has to be true.
I know. I'm sorry. They lied.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I know. But expireds they had to sell, right?
And not only do they have to sell, they have demonstrated that they're willing to work with a licensee, meaning they're willing to pay a commission.
Yes.
They understand the value and the benefits of working with a licensee. So you have one hurdle gone that you would have typically with a FSBO.
Absolutely. And they're not even squabbling over commissions.
Nope.
Because, they've already been sold on the commissions. And normally, the agents that are expiring are at the higher commissions. But the expires, why did they expire originally and in normal times? Well, probably overpriced house. Somebody didn't tell them the truth on the pricing. And today, I know we're in a different market, but you can still overprice a house in today's market.
Yes, you can.
And there's still expires out there.
And you can also underprice a house and have it expire.
Yes.
It becomes stigmatized. What's wrong with in this market? Why are you pricing below?
I know.
We had that happen with a house.
Yeah.
The seller would not listen to our advice, and I all day long I just blew my mind. Like I've never had that problem that they thought we were. I'm like higher. Like no, they're like no. I'm like yes, higher. Like no, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and they think they can get it sold fast. Where reality is, the buyers are going to go. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe that's why it's so cheap. Maybe that's why it's not competitive. There's got to be something wrong with the house.
So we did an open house on that property, and we do aggressive open house marketing. We had like 3 or 4 people come through, and so it was a rainy day a bit. So I'm like, but in this market it didn't matter. I drove the neighborhood. I left the open house, went and visited the agent. I drove the entire. This is an area with about 2,500 homes.
Yeah. Oh.
There were 9 open houses that day. Every one of them had a line out the door, but ours, and it was $20K below what it low end what we had said it was worth, and that was a problem. It was people are like I know in this market because it is so hyper competitive. It's you need to if you're going to go look at a house, you got to put an offer in now. You can't be dilly-dallying, right?
Yeah,
so they're not wasting their time going look at a house that might have something wrong with it.
Yep.
And that became a problem. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think same thing. Would you say in a normalized market, go back 3, 4, 5 months and look at those?
Yes, absolutely. And tell the truth to the client. If the house has been overpriced, ask them if you can do a good market analysis on that house and give them the truth about it. Say, if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Either way, you'll know really what your house is worth in today's market.
Yep.
Instead of rolling over and me telling you, oh, you want 500? Okay, when it's really worth 450.
Yep.
You want to, and this way they'll start respecting you more if you're going to put in the research.
And I also say too is first and foremost before you try to tell them the truth, what you need to do, I'm saying, is get their. No matter what the reality is, the perception has to be addressed first.
Absolutely.
And making sure you understand why they think it didn't sell. Because they have an opinion, and whether it's correct or incorrect, that's their opinion, that's their perception. And until you address that,
absolutely,
nothing else is going to work. So you got to overcome that, and maybe it's valid, maybe it's not.
A lot of times they're going to blame the agent. Well, the agent, if they price it too high, really, Mr. Agent, it did go back on you, but they don't know. Yep. They really don't know. All they know is they were told something from somebody.
But again, you got to overcome that because that's what it is.
Yep, absolutely.
So our number 3 on our list, FSBO. FSBO. See, most people think FSBO stands for sale by owner. That's completely incorrect.
What's this stand for?
Fastest source of business opportunities.
Oh, there you're right. Absolutely.
I mean,
I love FSBOs.
I love FSBOs too.
FSBOs take a while.
You
have to have a little system and gain rapport and build confidence and talk to them on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
Most FSBOs won't come in and say, oh, you want to list my house? Come on in. That doesn't happen.
No.
Not very often.
Yeah.
So normally you're there to meet them, to look at the house, to preview it, get to know them, set up, feel them out, make sure it's somebody you want to work with too, and somebody that's going to work with you.
Exactly.
And then follow up and agree with them.
Yep.
Oh, you want to sell your house? You're trying to save your money, the money, commissions? Oh, I understand that. I understand. You should try it.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
They don't expect that.
They don't.
You just interrupted their you're going to come out and tell me why I should, and you go like, well, yeah, you're right.
You're
what?
right.
Huh?
Yeah.
It
throws them off balance.
They have rehearsed, just as you have rehearsed.
Yeah.
They have rehearsed what they need to tell you, because based on what you're going to tell them. So when you go off script, they cannot compute.
No, you've got to align with those sellers first.
Yep.
And understand why they think they're saving the money. In reality, buyers are going to come in that are investors that are going to offer them probably 15-20% less.
Yeah, it depends
than
on
saving that 5-6% commission.
Yep.
Then they're really not saving any money, and they're going to get beaten up by people who really don't know how to do the business a lot of the time.
Exactly. And I always tell agents to go in there and just be a service. I go, knock. Hi, Mr. Smith. I'm Kevin with Ookie Dookie Real Estate. Don't worry, I'm not here to list your house.
That's it.
They go, I sell a lot of houses in the area, and wanted to stop by because we have tons of buyers that are looking. Make sure, not lying, make sure it's the truth. And then, kind of go into, do you mind if I look at the home? Why are you selling? Where are you moving to?
Yeah, get to know them.
Here, provide them some information. We work with First American Title here, and they provide us with an amazing booklet. It's about 20 pages long.
Yeah, I saw it today. It's beautiful.
That is everything they need to know. And here's some information. If I can be of service, let me know. Hey, if I was to have a buyer that might be interested, would you be willing to pay a buyer's commission?
Most of the time they say yes.
Most of them say yes. And then here's the deal. They're going to get hit with a bunch of people trying to hard sell.
Yep.
So if you go in servant-minded,
absolutely,
you're not going to have much impact on their timeline of when they're going to list. So if you just got to be the one that's the first person they think of when they're ready, when that pain and the convenience and savings kind of cross that line, that is when they will list, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, actually, the first 2 or 3 weeks they're all full of themselves. Yeah, I can do this. Everybody's selling really fast on the market. Well, reality sits in after the second, third week, or some bad people have come in the house, and wife's going, I don't want to be here alone. Mm-hmm. This scared me. Yeah, we got strangers coming in the house all of a sudden, or COVID, or reality sits in for sale by owners. But you need to be in contact with them every week, and I really like to stress, call them the same day every week.
Yep.
If you can the same time, that shows consistency with you, and that says volumes about you and how you do your work.
Exactly.
And that will really actually impress the heck out of them, and you don't even know you're impressing them.
Exactly.
Just stay in touch.
So number 5 on your list of things to do, I didn't know I was going to have to plant crops and harvest crops here. Something about farming. What are we talking about here?
I love farming.
Green Acres is the place to be.
That's it. In 2002, Craig told me I had to go out and knock on doors. It's like, what? I'm in a suit and high heels.
I'm here.
What? I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And you guys, you got to get your mindset on this. Just go do it. They're really the bad people you can look up online and know where they live now.
Yep,
so don't even worry about it.
Depending on your board or your brand, like our brand, we get forewarned, so you can with our Spark benefit and health benefit plans.
Absolutely.
So I think it costs $80 a year.
That's worth it.
So worth it. But you can do research. And it's so important with farming that you want to, the door knocking, the getting involved in the community, but also approaching it digitally. But your husband served 20 years in the military. My dad 30. Yeah. Like no military plan involves just one modality of it's multiple things.
Absolutely.
If I was to mention to you right now a company that has a mascot that's a green gecko.
That's a green gecko. That would be Geico.
Geico, yeah.
Geico,
Geico,
right? I was
right?
Gonna say Progressive. Geico.
And what do they sell?
What do they sell? Insurance.
Right. So
what's that have to do with a little green,
Well, it doesn't matter, right? But he's cute, isn't he? So the reason I ask is that, and I use this with agents all the time, it's called mind share. And you want to build up as strong a mind share in your farm area. Yeah. You want to get to a point where everybody in that farm area, just as you heard green gecko, you think Geico, you think car insurance. you want them to think real estate. You want them to think your name
Absolutely.
and your company, and hitting them with direct mail, hitting them with digital ads, hitting them on social,
Absolutely.
and then knocking on the doors.
Yeah.
You know, getting out there and face to face. Get off of texting. That works, but
This works.
Face to face.
Face to face works. And guys, if you went to a shoe store, if you went to a store and you want to buy shoes, you're going to go to a shoe store, right?
Really?
That's shocking.
Oh, thought I went to Best Buy for that.
Yeah,
No?
well, not for shoes.
Okay, sorry. That's true.
But
yeah.
but you're going out to where the houses are, where people are, and a lot of times 20% of your farms turn a year. Out of 200 homes, that's 40 houses turning. That's your list side. The other half of that equation is your buy side. So now you've got 80 deals that could come out of that farm for you. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you work that farm? It's the easiest thing you can do that's going to last you a very, very long time. And if you're afraid to get out by yourself, partner with another agent. Go and get a partner. Go do it. The weather's getting better now, and it's a really good time. You need to limit yourself between 200 and 300 homes.
We're definitely starting out.
Yeah, because if you say, I'm going to go out there and get 600, no, you won't do it.
Do 200 to 300 and then build upon that farm area. I mean, a good, healthy farm with time is more like 1,000, 1,500, but that takes time. You can't conquer Rome in a day, right? You have to build to that. So 5-10 years down the road, you might have that bigger farm.
Absolutely, yeah.
But focus on what you can do and do well, and then add to that. And I think a lot of agents bite off more than they can chew, I should say. And then the end result is that they're not successful and they get discouraged because it was just too much.
Yeah. Now my story, because I started farming right away when I jumped into residential, and I grumbled for 3 months. I grumbled and groaned just like all you guys will do. But on my 4th month, I had 4 listings in that farm that I would never have known about, talked to, but I had already knocked on the door. They got mailers for me. They also got something from me in the door, newsletter in the door. So they're getting 2 things from me a month. And all of a sudden I have people calling me, yeah, I see you're around here. Come over. I'm ready to list my house. Mm-hmm. This happened 4 times in the 4th month. And out of those 4, I got one of my buyers that ended up spending $10 million in real estate with me.
That's it?
That was one. That was just one. I know. It's just the first one. But that farm built, and it got me on the 4th month when I started listing all these. It just shocked me because they were calling me. I was never begging for business. And people think if you're farming, you're begging for business. No, they were calling me.
A lot of agents are begging for business, and that's the problem. You're going in with a sales mindset, not a servant mindset.
Right. Absolutely. I'm glad you keep coming back to that, because you got to go in and think you're going to meet some new friends. You're going to help some people. You're going to hear about a lot of information in that farm, and you'll be able to really expand on that and do really well. So I love farming, and I know it's not cut out for everybody, but a farm is just not geographic. You can do a farm in your social media. You can do your sphere.
Our niche market, first-time military, teachers, nurses, doctors.
Yeah.
So there's the geographic, and then there's the target base. Yes. So there's 2 different methodologies.
Absolutely. So just pick one and do it.
And be consistent.
Yes.
Patient. I always there's three P's to being successful: patience,
persistence,
practice, and persistence.
Yep.
If you do that, but the one that everybody, the patience part is just not there. It's this instant mindset. No, it's not. I love it. Every agent, and they say leads are bad or internet leads bad, or it's like because they're trying to get married to their sugar mama or their sugar daddy on the first date. If it's not like, here's a lead, fully qualified, we've written the contract for you, here's the house, you just have to email it to make up some money, then they think it's a bad lead. Yeah. And you got to be open-minded.
You do, and even the leads that can't buy right now, oh my goodness, they may know a lot more people that could. They're family members, they're friends.
Your target, people you should try to get into your database and connect with, are people who are going to buy, sell, or rent sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
I think that's everyone.
That's everybody.
If they have a heartbeat,
yes, they'll be moving.
They're moving, and never mind. If they don't have a heartbeat, they have a family that needs to handle the estate, right? So there's still business in the probate world,
absolutely.
So you got to work. Work the probate industry.
Yeah.
You get a relationship with one probate attorney, and then all of a sudden you got a stream of customers.
Yes, you do.
We'll talk about another. We do another one of these on the different types of like niche. Like I call them the whale customers.
Yes, I think it's a good idea.
So number 6, you put on this thing remind. So remind. What are we talking about here?
Well, Remind is in your Stellar MLS, and that's
It's a service.
Area. It's a service.
You can get it anywhere. We're fortunate here in Central Florida that Stellar pays for it for us.
Yes.
We pay for it, but it's a service they provide that we don't have to pay extra for. But anyone can access Remind anywhere in the United States. And
this is an incredible service.
It is an amazing resource. So how do you leverage Remind to get listings?
Well, I start looking for out-of-state owners.
Tell me.
Out of town, out of state. Okay, in Florida, what do we have? Snowbirds. Really? Everywhere. Really? 6 months a year, they're here. Canada. And if you think about what happened this past year with COVID with Canada, they couldn't come last winter. They're used to coming here in Florida. We have a lot of Canadians that come here to Florida. Orlando, Tampa, all over. What happened? They couldn't come. What do they have? They have a house that's been sitting vacant and empty for 18 months now, 2 years. Their lives have changed. If they're snowbirds, maybe something physical has happened. They may be ready to sell their asset down here and get you on that deal with them. And it's up to you to reach out. Now, Remind does for us. You can look them up. There's many ways to sort it, and I love this because once you look up the house, it gives you all the information to the seller plus their contact information most of the time. I love this.
Gold mine.
Yes.
Gold mine of Remind.
Yes. And you can pull up out of town. You can say how far out of town, but do out of town and out of state because there is so much. And just pick a zip code. And you'll find probably 15%. And those people, now with COVID, this is our time to act on this, is because lives have changed. People may have passed that own these houses. You don't know. You don't know how their lives have changed. You need to reach out to them. If there isn't a valid phone number, they still may have a valid email address in Remind, which is great. So you can go that way. And if worse comes to worse, then send them a piece of first-class mail. Yeah. Snail mail does work and can. But this is something that is worthwhile that we've been training on for a while since it came up in MLS, because it is just a way to find great out-of-state, out-of-town sellers.
Well, not only that, you could even, I'm going to piggyback on that a little bit. You're going to have a lot of local owners so properties are not homesteaded.
Yes.
The owner may be local or here in Florida, who is not emotionally attached to the property. It's a business decision. And right now, and where we're at with prices having gone up so much, they may have a ton of equity and they may be looking to pull that equity out and do something else with it. And we can help them with that. Yeah, and you can see what equity they have because it'll show the mortgage history, how much they owe on their mortgage today. And how much equity is built up in that house, which is really pretty accurate. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes, indeed. So you can look up, to see how long they've lived in that house. If they've been there 10, 15 years, maybe it's time to get a new house. Sell the old one because the interest rates are down below 3. So it's a great opportunity for you to dig into Remind and find some wonderful sellers that nobody's even thought of. Exactly. Yeah. And so number 7 you have on your list, social media. That's such a wild west right now. There's so many ways to make money on social media in real estate, as long as you're doing it the right way. I would say my first 2 years of the first 100+ homes I sold, probably about 80% were from Facebook leads. Yep. I mean, this is like anything else you do. You need it consistently, daily. If you're going to farm social media, spend 2 to 3 hours on this every day. Get out your private messages. Get into a lot more stuff. What did you do specifically? So I really focused heavily on the Lease with Right to Purchase program from Home Partners of America. Yes, and I love that. My marketing message was it's the mortgage alternative. And it worked. And especially when I first got started, we were in that point where people were getting back on their feet from the recession, but we were still being plagued by a foreclosure or short sale that was within the holding period. So they had cash, they had credit score, but they couldn't because of this one thing. So helping them get into a home and be able to get a secure roof over their head. So it was just a great, one of our customers said that, he kind of got to the point, was so discouraged. He literally was having a conversation with his wife that they felt like there was no more hope. There was no more light in the tunnel. And then as he's having this conversation with his wife, they're going through Facebook and saw one of our Facebook ads, clicked on it, and he goes, "That was my light." Yeah. And his name was Patrick. I'll never forget. He made me cry. We're doing a video testimonial, asking some questions. And then I said, "Anything else you want to add?" And he told that story. I'm like, "Dude, we're going to throw away everything else we just recorded. And we're going to stick with what you just said, because that's gold." And from there, I teach a class. If you ever get a chance, it's on our school website, OneBlueRealEstateSchool.com, digital farming. And literally I walk you through how I did what I did, using the kind of the story of Moneyball with Brad Pitt and that whole story of the Oakland A's to tell the story about how you need to think differently.
Absolutely.
In real estate, we're giving you a lot of great tips. Each one of these tips are tried and true. Everybody's doing them. That's, right? It's how you do what you do within each of these to think a little bit differently, think outside the box. The herd's going off to the right, you take the left path.
And stay on that path. And
chart your course and do it. And it works.
It does.
Social media today is your business card. It is where customers are going to go to research you, to see what they can find about you.
Yes.
They're going to judge you for good or for bad.
So keep your social media is nice.
Be authentically you. I always say that, and I'll always say that. Be authentically you. That may cost you a customer here or there, but it may win you customers somewhere else.
Absolutely.
There are some people that love cats and hate dogs, and some people that love dogs and hate cats. So you're never going to please everyone. So be authentically you. Don't be fake you, but also be professional. Keep it appropriate, I would say, and truly get out there and showcase who you are, showcase what you can do, and your knowledge and expertise of the area, of things to do. There's a TikTok thing. Tell me you're blank without telling me you're blank, right? Whatever that is. Yeah. Your social media as a real estate agent, you should be telling me you're in real estate without telling me you're in real estate. Yep. I don't need you showing me walkthroughs of houses. Yep. I really don't. I can go to Zillow and Realtor.com. That's everywhere. You're not special. You're not special because you're doing a walkthrough. And yes, that gets you comfortable on camera a little bit. I get it. If you have a new listing, fine. But just going randomly, how about featuring a local business? How about featuring a local charity or a local event? We have the farmers market here in Orlando. Going down there on the weekend and highlighting and featuring the farmers market. I have given, and someone else take this because my agents aren't listening. So, Central Florida history. Kind of go back and see, or wherever you're at. We have a beautiful lake in downtown Orlando. It's called Lake Eola. Beautiful fountain. It's the most popular sinkhole in in Florida. I mean, it was formed from a sinkhole, right? Go out and do. Did you know? Lake Eola is this many acres, has a walk around sidewalk. I found it. Did you know it was a sinkhole?
Yeah.
And then there's a building right now, southeast corner. I forget. There's a World of Beer in it, but back in the day, back before it was office or apartment buildings and a World of Beer downstairs, the World of Beer is in the old conference room of the Cherry Plaza Hotel. Do you know about the Cherry Plaza Hotel?
No.
Cherry Plaza Hotel is a pivotal building in Florida's history because in the 1960s, 3 gentlemen got up on a stage there. It was the governor of Florida and these 2 Californians, and they got up on a stage in that conference room at the Cherry Plaza Hotel, right there, building on Lake Eola. So if you're drinking a beer at World of Beer, you're where this happened, and said, you know what, we're going to build a theme park here. It's going to be called Walt Disney World.
No kidding.
And that's where it happened. The building is still there to this day. You can go raise a pint to Walt, and tomorrow will be the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom. So highlight cool things about Central Florida or your local area. I keep saying Central Florida because we're here. We have another area called the Packing District. Why the hell is it called the Packing District? Because Dr. Phillips, who was a large orange farmer, he owned a lot of land here, is a huge landowner, grew oranges. Guess what they did in the Packing District?
Packed oranges.
They packed the oranges and put them in the crates and on the trains and shipped them out of Florida. You know, there's an amazing building in downtown Tampa that looks like it's from Russia. There's an amazing story behind it.
That's the University of UT, Tampa, of the University of Tampa.
Right, but it's the history of that building.
Flagler.
Yep, Tampa. It was a Flagler hotel at some point, right?
It was a Flagler. It was built to be a Flagler hotel.
Yep, in Flagler County, the Flagler Railroad. There's just so much history in our communities that most people don't know. How cool to showcase that. That means I might come back and want to watch your channel because you're posting something other than, look at this house I just sold. Look at this house I just listed. Call me, I'll sell your house for more money than everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Every agent's doing it. Be different. Think differently.
Absolutely.
You think that's going to get shared?
I think it'll be shared a lot.
Well, the stuff I'm talking about, but the listing stuff doesn't.
Oh, no, that didn't get shared.
And social media has one priority. If I'm Facebook, and you're looking at my Facebook, and I own Facebook, I'm Mark Zuckerberg, I have one mission and one mission only. I don't want you to leave Facebook. I don't want you to put your phone down. So what it's going to do is keep showing me content that other people are engaging with because, well, if they like it, he's like similar content, he'll like it. And the more he likes more we show him content he likes, the longer he'll hang out. So think outside the box, show your expert knowledge, show your local knowledge.
Yep.
Offer advice about the market in general. Home prices are up, interest rates this. You know, the Fed is meeting to determine whether or not they're going to start tapering. What is tapering? Kind of a weird term. Talk about what it is.
Yeah, talk about it.
You know, explain it out a bit. So, you know, it's so important. So last thing we'll talk about, kind of wrapping it all up about, you know, no matter which of the 7 things we've talked about that you want to do, consistency, right?
On any of them. You don't have to pick all 7. Pick 1 or 2, stay in those lanes, but be consistent with them on a daily basis, weekly basis. It goes back to your numbers. I'm a numbers person. How many people do you need to contact today to make the money you want to make? Number 1, you got to know what you want to make.
Know what you want to make, know what the average price is, the area, know what the average commission is, and work backwards. So if you don't have a business plan, sit down with your broker, with your coach, with your mentor, with your team leader, with whoever, right?
Absolutely.
And come up with a hardcore business plan. You should know every day how many contacts and new leads you need to generate.
Absolutely.
How many conversations you need to have that generate how many leads you need to have, which would then generate how many closings you need.
Absolutely. To
get to your income goal. And if you don't know that number,
you need to get it.
You should know it. Yeah. You should know it. And if you don't, it's time to sit down. It's not complex. This is not calculus.
No.
This is not like rocket
This
science.
is easy math.
This is like addition, subtraction, right? Multiplication, division. Like we're not asking you to do cray stuff.
Yeah.
But this is a business, and you need to treat it like a business. Be consistent. It's like if you had a store, and you know you're open every day of the week, but then your customers got used to that. Well, then randomly you start closing on various days or times of day, and someone shows up and you're closed this day. You're going to start losing customers because they don't know when you're working.
Absolutely.
Same thing in real estate.
Absolutely.
Maintain that consistency.
Yeah, it's really, really critical.
And whatever system you follow the system.
Yeah.
Stop trying to piece this part of system 1 and part of, like, if you follow Mike Ferry, do Mike Ferry. It's a great system.
Absolutely.
It's my favorite. If you follow Tom Ferry, follow Tom Ferry. If you're Greg Proctor or if you're Buffini or whoever you believe in, whichever of the real estate models and coaching systems you follow that system. Follow it verbatim. Don't try to mix and match. This is not a buffet.
And don't
this
make
is
up
not
your
the
own
golden
stuff.
corral. And don't make it up. The stuff works.
Yeah.
Don't add things, subtract things, because it works. So when you start breaking the system, you start breaking the results.
Yep.
We had one agent who loves Mike Ferry, went to a Mike Ferry conference in July, comes back, first listening back. I'm like, what are you doing? That's not Mike Ferry's way. Yeah, but I mean, well, you just spent a couple $1,000s to go to a Mike Ferry event to hear Mike Ferry speak, and now you're here not following
the system that you just went to pay for.
You know, WWMD, what would Mike do?
Yeah.
Would Mike do this? Well, no, well, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Or don't follow the system. Or, you know, so I get, you know.
I get passionate about this too, because we teach you what works. We know what works. We really know what works. So we want to make sure you have that inside you too. So if you're following the directions, many pass, but don't sit there and think you have to make this stuff up, because you don't. There's every tried and true thing that we can do out there that we put in front of you.
And the results
The results show
I can
themselves.
tell you agents in our office who have followed the system, who follow the script, are selling.
Yes, absolutely.
We have one agent. She's doing an amazing job. She's doing everything we are telling her to do. She's been with us a month and a half. She's got 2 listings, and she's already had a closing. She has her first listing is already under contract, and her second listing's live.
Yeah.
So, and she will make, and that's about 1.6 million, right, on paper in the first 30 days. Yeah. So
I'm used to getting agents up to speed quickly, and I know you are too. We have the same mindset.
Well, you hope to. Some of them just are stubborn and they won't listen.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, and if you want to sit around and wait to think business is going to come to you, it's never going to come.
Nope.
You have to get out there and create this, and the faster you do, the more money you'll make and the happier you'll be.
This is real estate, not Burger King. It's not your way right away.
That's right. That's right.
It's certainly not your way. It's not going to be right away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's our 7 tips on how to get listings. Again, like Debrah and I have both said, whatever you do, it's the consistency. Be patient.
Yes.
It will come. If you continue to apply and do it, relentlessly, day after day after day, even when it feels like, oh my God, I can't do this one more day, push through that. It's kind of like going to the gym. Clearly, I have lots of experience. But, you at some point, you kind of break through that wall.
Yeah, you will.
And it'll work, and you'll have fun. And enjoy it. You are helping people with the largest financial transaction typically of their lives.
That's right.
It's a very personal decision. It's their home.
It's highly emotional.
Very emotional.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be a marriage counselor.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to be a guidance counselor with the kids. Sometimes you need to be, I don't know,
a divorce counselor.
A referee.
The referee.
But at the end of the day, it's the most rewarding thing I've done is helping agents do this, and it's something I'm deeply passionate about. I know you are, which is why I'm so excited you're part of our team, and you've been with us a week and a day or two, and you're already on the podcast. That's okay, because Todd, his first day, I had him on a podcast.
Okay,
I'm like, hey, welcome. Let's do a podcast about social media.
Yeah.
So we've got some great episodes coming up. Our next episode, I think you're going to want to tune in for this one. We surveyed real estate agents across the country and gathered information about what is it as a real estate agent that other real estate agents do that just grind your last nerve. The answers were hilarious. And we got right at 1,000 responses to our survey. We're going to have a little fun with it. We give you some good tips. And we're going to have fun with this one, but there's also some seriousness to it. It is, if we understand what things a lot of agents do that drive other agents crazy, just maybe through our fun episode we're going to do, we can help others maybe stop doing it, and maybe
absolutely,
or be more open-minded and more respectful and more understanding.
Yes.
So you never know. Sort of that one. We also, this is going to be our episode 3 coming up is going to be with our attorney, Andrew Doyle for Seabain Doyle. And we're going to spend some time talking with him about the independent contractor relationship and what agents can and cannot be required to do, because so many brokers, for example, require floor time or you can't. And then if you're going to require that, you get to pay them some payroll. So
and then you have to take out taxes, and then there's all that. Yeah,
and it's going to be a fun conversation, kind of level set a little bit, have some fun with him. I think it's going to be eye-opening for a lot of agents that, what they can and can't be required to do, because a lot of them are being required to do things they don't have to do.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure that everyone that listens to our podcast or watches this on YouTube, you have everything you need to be successful in this business. And sometimes the foundation of that relationship with your brokerage is important. So if you are on your favorite podcast app listening to us, thank you so much. Do us a big favor. If you've enjoyed this show, please leave us a review, give us those 5 stars. It helps promote our podcast to other like-minded individuals so we can continue to help more and more people around the world. If you're on YouTube, do me a great big favor, hit that subscribe button. And once you do that, click the bell so you can be notified when we do post new videos, and we post lots of great content. And of course, this is the 121% podcast, and those that give 121% are the ones that go above and beyond and push that button, push that subscribe button.
Yep.
It helps us help others, and it's satisfying. Just checking things off a list,
That's right. That's
boom,
right.
and then the little bell, and it's checked. It's a beautiful thing. So do that for us. We would appreciate it. And thank you so much for tuning in for our first episode of season 2. We've got lots of great content coming up for you, and we hope it'll help you, increase your business, week over week, grow yourself, grow your business, grow your opportunities, and be able to earn income that's going to provide you with just some life-altering opportunities in your life. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. As a reminder, every day, go out there and defy mediocrity and deliver extraordinary experiences. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
Have a great day.